Every day the world asks you a question, not with words, not with speeches, but with the silence of your morning, the weight of your thoughts, the way your heart beats when the alarm goes off. The question is simple. Will you rise or will you remain? Because every day you are casting a vote for the person you are, or for the person you were never meant to be. And whether you realize it or not, success isn't something you achieve. It's something you repeat. Again, and again, and again. Most people are broke, not because they're unlucky, not because they're stupid, not because the system is unfair. They're broke, mentally, spiritually, financially, because their habits betray their desires, because they say they want to change, but their actions worship comfort. Their routines are altars to mediocrity. They walk in circles expecting to find a staircase. And yet, there are the few, the rare, the quiet ones who rise when the world sleeps, who trade dopamine for discipline, who know that 5 small hinges can swing the heaviest doors, 5 decisions, 5 habits, 5 daily commands. And without them, you stay broke. Not just in your bank account, but in your mind, your character, your life. You want wealth? Start here. You want power? Start here. You want to finally break free from the lies the world told you about your limits? Then you better do these 5 things every single day, or stay broke, stay lost, stay average. Let's begin. 1. Command your mind before the world does. The first battle of every day is not fought with traffic, deadlines, or to-do lists. It's fought in your thoughts. Most people lose the war before breakfast. They wake up and reach for their phone. Not for their soul, they scroll through noise, feed on fear, and wonder why they feel behind. You cannot plant weeds in the garden of your mind and expect roses to grow. So before the world speaks to you, you speak. To yourself, you take command. You set the tone, you define the narrative. Say it aloud. I am not a slave to reaction. I am a master of intention. I do not chase. I attract. I do not doubt. I decide. I am the cause, not the effect. Feed your mind what it hungers for. Clarity, courage, conviction. Read 1 page from greatness. Speak 1 word of purpose. Think 1 thought that elevates, not deteriorates. Because your life does not rise above your thinking, it mirrors it. The wealthy don't think in limitations. They think in outcomes. They don't ask, what if I fail? They ask, what if I don't try? 2. Move your body, master your state. Energy is not something you find, it's something you generate. Your body is not just flesh, it's your power station. And if you don't move it, you lose it. You don't need a gym. You don't need perfect weather. You need a decision, because when the body moves, the mind sharpens. When the blood flows, the brain ignites. When you sweat, you signal to your spirit, I am alive. I am in control. I am a force. Napoleon Hill wrote that success comes to those who are quick to act, but action without energy is an empty flame. So move, run, lift, stretch, breathe. Make your physiology match your destiny, because the world doesn't care how you feel, but your future does. Your future is shaped by the state you bring to your actions. Slumped shoulders don't build empires. Lazy lungs don't breathe life into visions. A broke body leads to a broke spirit. And that's not your story. 3. Write. Your vision or surrender to distraction. Let me tell you the truth. The reason most people are broke isn't lack of talent. It's lack of direction. They drift. They wish. They dabble. They scroll. But the mind, like a missile, needs a target. And every single day, if you don't write the target down, you let the world give you one instead. Write your goals, your intentions, your vision, daily, not monthly, not someday. Daily. Because clarity is power, and repetition builds belief. What you repeat, you believe. What you believe, you become. You don't write your vision because it's magical. You write it because it tells your subconscious what to fight for. It tells your soul, this is real. This is mine. I'm not here to survive, and I'm here to build. Carnegie wrote his goals every morning. Ford visualized factories before a single machine was made. Disney saw theme parks in his mind long before the world saw castles. So ask yourself, daily, where am I going? Why does it matter? And who must I become to get there? Without that map, you wander, and wanderers stay broke. 4. Do the hardest thing first. Let me break something to you. Success doesn't reward effort, it rewards courage, and courage is shown in the first hour of your day. What do you face? What do you run from? What do you avoid? Most people major in minor things. They clean the kitchen, answer emails, organize their desk, but leave their dreams for later. Later never comes. But those who rise above, they hunt the dragon first. They do. The hardest, most emotionally demanding thing first, before the world can distract them. Before fear can whisper excuses, it could be the cold call, the sales pitch, the writing, the workout, the conversation, the leap. Do it first, because courage compounds. When you act in defiance of fear, something changes in your soul. You stop negotiating. With your potential, you start demanding it, and that demand echoes in your bank account, in your confidence, in your legacy. You don't get paid for effort, you get paid for value. And the highest value tasks are always the ones you resist the most. So, every day to ask yourself, what am I resisting most? Then go straight at it, not later, not after coffee, now. That's how wealth is built, by those who are willing to feel discomfort before they feel ready. 5. Feed the fire with gratitude. Gratitude is not soft, it's not sentimental, it's strategic. It's necessary, it's power. Gratitude is the fuel that turns ambition into joy. Because let me tell you something, if you're not grateful for what you have, and you'll sabotage what you get, you want more. Start honoring what's already in your hands. Write it down. Speak it out loud, feel it in your bones. Not just, I'm grateful for family. No, go deeper. I'm grateful for this breath, for the struggle that forged me, for the silence that taught me who I am. I'm grateful I get to rise while others sleep. I'm grateful that today I get another shot at mastery. Because gratitude shifts your state, and your state shapes your decisions, and your decisions create your destiny. So now you've fed the fire with gratitude, but fires go out when they're not protected. And that brings us to the unspoken law of personal greatness. You either guard your mind, or you give it away. Because the world is built to distract you, to weaken you, to infect you with the diseases of average thinking, negativity, comparison, entitlement, excuses. You cannot let those parasites in. You must defend your mindset like a warrior defends a kingdom. And that requires rituals. It requires repetition. It's rewind. Requires that every single day, you filter what you allow in, you don't casually scroll. You intentionally consume. You don't hang around people who drain you. You surround yourself with people who ignite you. You don't just read the news. You study greatness. Because if you're not programming yourself, you're being programmed by someone else. Most people want success, but they let their environment write their destiny. They let the opinions of others become louder than the whisper of their calling. But not you. Not anymore. From this moment on, you decide what you allow to take root in your mind. You decide what thoughts stay, what words echo, what emotions you elevate. Because you've come too far to lose the war in your head. And as the days build, so does the resistance. Because make no mistake, the moment you begin to rise, the moment you wake up earlier, speak more powerfully, take bolder steps, the world will test you, not with fire, but with subtle sabotage, a missed opportunity, a delay, a betrayal, a failure. And this is where most people fold. They interpret resistance as a sign to stop, as if difficulty is evidence of misalignment. But listen to me. Resistance is proof of growth. No one gets tested in the comfort zone. Only those walking toward power face resistance. Because pressure is what reveals what you're made of. Diamonds aren't found. They're forged. Steel isn't gifted. It's hammered. And if you think the road to wealth, mastery, peace, or legacy will be paved with applause, you're not chasing greatness, you're chasing validation. Let the hardship shape you. Let the betrayal sharpen you. Let the waiting season build your character. Because what's coming isn't small. And small minds can't hold big dreams. But growth isn't just about grit. It's also about evolution. Every day you must be willing to unlearn what no longer serves you, to shed the skin of your former self, to question your defaults, to kill your comfort zones. You want a different life? Then you must become a different version of you, and that version doesn't arrive passively. He is sculpted, she is refined. They are built, decision by decision, in the quiet hours when no one is watching. Growth requires humility. The humility to say, I was wrong. I don't know. I'm willing to learn. Because only the student becomes the master. And every day you avoid learning. Every day you avoid upgrading your mind, your skills, your emotional depth. You're choosing to stay broke, not just financially, but in spirit, in vision, in potential. So, become obsessed with knowledge. Read like your future depends on it, because it does. Study success, study failure, study yourself. The day you stop learning is the day you start dying, and you didn't come this far to fade. And when you finally get momentum, when the daily habits begin to stack, when you start to taste the rewards of discipline, you must guard against the most seductive enemy of all, comfort. Success has a strange effect on the unprepared. It lulls them to sleep. They forget what got them here. They stop doing the very things that created the breakthrough, but the truth is brutal and simple. You don't get to stop. Consistency beats intensity. Daily effort is the real flex. And champions, they keep showing up long after the motivation is gone, because they're not driven by hype. They're driven by identity. They don't wake up and wonder what they feel like doing. They wake up and ask, what would the version of me that has already made it do right now? Then they do that, no matter what, because discipline is the root of all freedom. Without it, you're a slave to your moods, a prisoner of your emotions, a follower of convenience. But with it, you become dangerous, predictable in execution, unshakable. In storms, inevitable in destiny. And so, each day becomes a brick. Each decision, a tool. Each morning, another chance to rise above who you were yesterday. But make no mistake, time is not your friend. It is your most ruthless accountability partner. Because every day you hesitate, every day you delay that one habit, every day you hit snooze on your purpose, you are not standing still, you are drifting backward, back into survival, back into scarcity, back into a life that was never designed for someone like you. So take in this seriously. This isn't a speech. This isn't entertainment. This is a call to arms, to rise, to rebuild, to repeat, to become. Not once, but daily. Until it's not something you do, it's who you are. You see, every day is a ceremony, a sacred test, a quiet invitation to either level up or sell out. And most people, they sell out. They sell out for comfort, for opinions, for distractions, for a little more sleep, a little less pressure, a little more pleasure. They sell the future for the present. They trade destiny for dopamine. They accept crumbs, while a feast waits inside of them. But you, if you've come this far, if you've felt this message in your bones, you're not here to survive. You're here to lead. You're here to rise above the noise, to break the curse, to wake up the bloodline, to build a name that echoes beyond your lifetime. That's not just a dream, that's a responsibility, because the world doesn't need more passive dreamers. It needs ruthless builders, soulful warriors, people who are sick of being broke. Not just in their wallets, but in their willpower. You want to change your life. It's not complicated, but it is demanding. Do these 5 things every day or stay broke. Own your mind before the world does. Move your body like your future depends on it. Write your vision like your legacy depends on it. Do the hardest thing first, every damn time, and feed the fire with unshakable gratitude. Then guard it, then grow it, then repeat it until you no longer recognize the version of yourself that used to make excuses. Because there will come a day when you wake up in a house you built, with a body you sculpted, with a mind that no longer bows to fear, with a bank account that reflects discipline, not desperation. And you'll remember this moment. You'll remember the decision. You'll remember when you finally said, enough. Enough with waiting, enough with drifting, enough with giving my time to people and things that don't feed my fire. You'll remember when you started living like you were the answer, not the victim, not the bystander, but the answer, because you weigh. And it was never about luck, never about perfect timing, never about magic. It was always this: small disciplines, repeated daily, with relentless belief. That's how you rise, that's how you win, that's how you make sure you never stay broke again. And if you ever forget, come back to this. Let this be the spark, the ignition, the pulse that says, "This is the day I became unstoppable." Because once you live like that, every room feels smaller than your presence. Every goal feels lighter in your hands. Every ceiling becomes a floor, and you'll never go back.